Alright, I visited Frontier offices 3 months ago to see exclusively Planet Zoo 2 and give feedback. A lot of feedback. This was actually the whole point of it. I'll get to that in a minute. But first of all, big sorry to all of you. Big sorry to basically lying to you for 3 months straight in a lot of videos, a lot of live streams, and these have been one of the hardest months as a creator for me personally. It's been really hard to really act as if I have not known anything, but it was necessary. You'll understand why at the end of the day. But I wanted to say sorry because it was really hard and there were points where I had to re-record some videos because something slipped through or so. Speaking of slipping through, this actually did happen right now. I forgot to mention who I met at this incredible event. That was obviously the likes of ZSH Plays, Leaf, Zoof, Eben has been with us as well, Mrs. T-Rex, Sinful Panda, and many others that I hopefully didn't forget over here. I'll include a full list of these I can remember. Pause Build was also with us as well. And I just want to mention that all of them have been super lovely and we have been helping us each other out with a lot of feedback and stuff that we gave. We'll get to that at the end of the video, but just let's roll the video again and have some fun. But yeah, we have been there, invited, and we got a grand tour. The game directors have been showing some stuff to us. We had various people join us from different departments like audio, animation, and so on. And they talked us through a lot of the advancement of the game, a lot of behind what you can really tell, a lot of the technology that goes into it and the foundation. They have completely rebuilt the entire game. It may look very similar to the first game, but let me tell you, it is almost everything has been rebuilt from the ground. And I want to start with the animals, and just mentioning I am allowed to talk about a lot of things that go in line to what we've seen, but I will not be able to talk too much about what we've done afterwards. However, I'm allowed to say what as a broader thing we've done, and this is very interesting, so stick with me till this because that is going to be very interesting. But now we have gotten that whole tour of what the game is capable of. We've seen a couple of comparisons with like game 1, Planet Zoo 1 animals and game 2 animals, specifically that West African lion. I think I am able to talk about that one because it has been confirmed to be back in the game via a press article, and they have already stated in that press article how much of a glow up it has received. And all I can say is, if you think about the Sumatran tiger, think about what this can do with a West African lion, and there you go. They even have made up a little bit of a meme that the community generated over these years, like, you know, remember that guy, that's him now, because obviously they knew how much we were already seeing that the first animal ever was potentially the lion, and how much big cats especially have been developed over the years, and so they gave this guy a specific upgrade. But we have also seen a lot of the way animation works, and everything you've seen on screen in the last days and weeks is a result of this technology advancement they have done. And to be completely honest with you guys, I can't remember a day where I've sat there with my mouth open for that long. In fact, my mouth hurt the evening after because of all that. I'm just kidding, but no, honestly, as you can imagine, after the Planet Coaster 2 situation, I went there with a lot of hesitation and honestly also with a lot of skepticism. A very good trait, to be honest, to get into there, because my expectations were rather low or mediocre, I should say. But when this event started and we went into that, the first half hour or so, they blew us away completely. I remember that also ZSH sat there and was like, hey, okay, cool, we're done. Like, that's the perfect game, we're done. But obviously that's not. There is still stuff to talk about, but we have had a very good impression of what they did in order to, you know, in order to make this game stand out. And I'm quite certain I'm not allowed to go too much into the details, but especially that audio design. As we all know, Frontier is incredible at audio design, but let me tell you, they have brought this to a completely new level. If you haven't watched my analysis of the gameplay reveal today, make sure to watch it and specifically pay attention to the B-roll material of the chimpanzee. There is a part of the the chimpanzee vocalizing, and I want you to pay attention to the mouse movements, because this is unlike anything you have seen in the first game. They have been able to completely rework how audio is translated to the movement of animals' mouth and lip sections and stuff like that, because they're able to trigger more animations at a time right now, as they've stated in some interviews. They are able to now pair this better with sounds and audio. Again, I'm not going too much into how that exactly works, but let me just tell you, it's almost like magic. And it's been super incredible to see that from these teams directly. And yeah, but you know, I could go on forever now, and unfortunately I'm not allowed to give you some more extra bits. The only good news is, for me personally, not for you, but my good news is there is no animal I can spoil anymore, because literally we've seen all the animals now that we've also seen in that tour back in the day, plus the West African lion. And the West African lion we have no image of, but it is confirmed via press articles now, so at least there's no danger for me to slip an animal through. We though have seen a couple of other things. I think we've seen also a very similar tour to what creators have now seen in the behind closed door events 2 weeks ago, and actually, funny enough, we have seen a couple little glimpses of exhibits, but again, I can't spoil anything because we have not seen it properly. So exhibits is still pretty much of an unknown, and I'm very excited if they do this intentionally, because that would mean later on they can come up with a lot of things. What I can talk about though is the scenery brush and especially the terrain paint, because we haven't seen that much of it in this event last week, but in this event we have seen this a bit better. And I don't want to leak anything from how exactly it's going to work, because you've seen the UI already, but what I want to tell you is it's looking freaking insane. We got a whole bunch of new textures, as you have seen from the footage already. So there is a lot of great new textures, there's a lot of new finishes, there's a lot of new way how you can utilize that, and it goes a lot more similar to what Planet Coaster 2 has done. So not only, what was that, 6 or 7 textures from the first game, definitely a lot more textures to work with, and that is fantastic. And you've seen this in virtually any footage. The way it blends together is freaking amazing. The same goes for path. You've seen now the path menu. It is technically the same pathing tool from Planet Coaster 2, just the UI has been reworked and improved. And the UI specifically, I want to point out, is mega good. I love it. It's so much better. It's so much better than the first one has been. But I want to point out that this is also something, when we saw this the first time, it was a bit more in work in progress UI, and now this seems to be the fledged out final one. It looks so incredibly good. But now, again, you've seen a lot. I didn't want to spoil too much, as I said earlier, but one thing I have to say is the reason why we have been invited. So we got that tour, and we got a lot of things to see, and we got a presentation, but the main reason was to give feedback. Remember when I told you guys that I was at Frontier offices last year for Planet Coaster 2 event, alongside the lady and Sylv and others, and there had been some discussions and talks going around why it was again us to be invited. And let me just quickly tell you, I understand that. I absolutely understand that. And we have also been vocal about this, and we have been speaking to them as well, that in the future, hopefully we can make a better mixture of people getting there. But there is also a truth in that. We have a good connection to communities, but we also have a long-term relation to Frontier. So we wanted to utilize that to make them hear us. And again, as I'm not allowed to say what specifically we've talked about, but let me just remind you of a certain amount of features you've already seen confirmed. They may be in the game because we have been very vocal about some things that did not work in Planet Coaster 2 the way they should have, you know? Okay, so thinking about what I can say is that, for example, having restaurants and souvenir shops in the game from the beginning is a absolute must. We already said this very early on, and so very happy to see that certain things are done, because obviously that is something that otherwise people would have been, again, like in Planet Coaster 2, a bit mad about. But back to the point, when we've been there last year, the main reason for this meeting was to make a plan to move forward, to integrate communities better, to get the feedback in early on, to avoid such a situation like with Planet Coaster 2. And I have been mega like negative and also criticized Frontier a lot around the release of Planet Coaster 2. They have acted, they have invited us, and now the Planet Zoo 2 invite was one of the first big results, I may say, even though it's not 100% confirmed that it's down to this, but it is following what we have discussed back in the day. And I'm so incredibly happy and also mega fortunate to say that this group of people was invited to give feedback, proper feedback, and we were even asked to be negative. We were asked to be going into the really nitty-gritty details, which I'm not allowed to tell you because that would give away way too much. So you have to be a lot more patient and a lot more willing to wait for that. And trust me, it's worth it, but it would take away the fun. But I want to just talk about that so much because the fact that they had us in, and the fact that they had a research team with us to note down every single comment we gave, even if it was so tiny and nonsense, if you would believe, gives me hope. They did not do that with Planet Coaster 2. They better would have, you know? And again, at this point, I wouldn't have cared if it was me or not, because the fact you have people from the community there is important. And as I said in the introduction of the video, it's super good to see that we had the likes of ZSH Plays in there, Zoof, and Leaf. We all come from a very different direction, and we do all play the game in a very, very different type of way. And this is also why all of these symbolize a certain portion of the community. What I want to also emphasize on, because there's one thing where we all are not good at, and I'm so happy to confirm, and I guess all the other creators will confirm that too, we tried to put on the hat of casual players as well, because we as creators, obviously we have a bit of a different approach to playing a game and having content making in the mind, and it would be kind of unfair to only prioritize that. So what we also did is we forced us, each and every one of us, we tried to force us and poke us, everyone, to think of if we were just a normal player who occasionally opens the game, I don't know, twice a week for an hour or two, and just wants to enjoy the game, you know, and be aware that we also gave feedback in that direction, even though in some cases, and you have to get creative to what I mean here, but in some cases this kind of feedback might actually even hurt some of the creative freedom of us creators, and the good thing is we have no knowledge if they realize any of this. But I want to just say that because for me personally, the whole atmosphere, the whole willingness of us creators to really go into all of these situations, also trying to put the hat of a community member on who is not a creator and who's just willing to play the game, or who's also playing on console, and all these kind of things. So keep in mind that when I do videos now about this game in the coming weeks, that I do have some of these things in mind, but I will obviously keep every single detail locked that I'm not allowed to talk about, so don't try me. I will not slip any information here for you, but what I will do is I will try to get all the information in from you guys as feedback, and I will, you know, hand them over sneakily to Frontier as well, and also be aware they read every single comment that you put down here. It's worth it. Put the comments down. They sort them, they see them, they ask us about our opinion about certain claims from the community as well, and I'm so thankful to Frontier that they did invite me to this event, and I'm so thankful that all the other creators have been so incredibly passionate. And honestly, I want to dedicate that last portion of the video to the creators, but also to the wider community, because this has been the first Planet Zoo event in a long while, and obviously due to updates, due to other games, due to whatever focus shifted onto other things, it felt like that the community felt a little bit into like a little, I don't want to say silence, but obviously it calmed down a little. But it was so good to first time meeting all these guys. I've never seen them before, you know. Leaf, for example, he's from the US. There's not really that many opportunities to meet him, so that was fantastic to meet that guy. We've had a good banter and a good portion of beers. Actually, no, Leaf went to bed early that day. I'm just kidding, because he had a terrible, like obviously coming from the US, that is a bit of a different time zone. We were joking though. But Zoof and I had been sitting there and enjoyed the evening, and all the others around us too. Yeah, I just want to say big thanks to all of these guys making this trip wonderful to enjoy. It was really, really, really fun to meeting all of them, having a bit of banter and, you know, talking about our experiences, meeting all these people that do great content that I love to consume as well, you know, especially ZSH Plays. We had a good talk as well, and I remember that, like, his zoos he did, I followed always, like, how crazy he was basically the one who brought franchise mode back to life, because he was doing that very elaborate San Bernardino zoo that I guess sparked the community entirely, which it's just how it should be, you know. That's just, he was building that little flame of doing franchise mode, and then everyone else was just jumping on that again and making sure to make it work. So genuinely big thanks to Frontier bringing us together, because that was a whole bunch of fun, and there's a lot more I can talk about in the future. Hopefully there's a lot more I can talk about very soon. That is so cool to see, and yeah, whenever there is something released I can talk about, be certain I will, because it's sad that we cannot talk about what we gave feedback on, because Frontier would put themselves in an even better position here. I want to be that positive, but yeah, it's getting harder now to squeeze out content of this video, to be frankly honest with you. So I wanted to end this on the positive note on the community, and also big thanks to Frontier for inviting me to that event. And the last bits I'm going to say, you guys can be absolutely hyped for Planet Zoo 2. I will be at least a tiny bit hesitant until I've played it myself, because that is something we weren't allowed to do at this event. We have not played the game ourselves. We've seen gameplay. We've seen them playing this game live in front of us, so that we do know this has not been pre-recorded. But I haven't played it myself, and again, I will be hesitant for my final verdict until I've done that. But for everything I've seen, also in comparison to all I've seen from Planet Coaster ahead of time, we are most likely not facing a Planet Coaster 2 situation again, not at all, and I'm so much looking forward to that. Now, shoot all your questions you have in the comments. I will see if I can answer them. If I can answer them, I will. If not, I'm gonna give you a heart, and you can think about what that means, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for following along. If you are new to the channel and you just skip to that video, why not? But make sure to subscribe to the channel. It will be a mega deal for me, because that's the easiest way to tell the algorithm you love the content, and you obviously show me that you like the content. It's a win-win for everyone. Thank you so much as always, and I talk to you in the next one. I guarantee you we'll be covering every single bit of Planet Zoo 2 news and everything else. Have a good one. See you there. Thank you so much.